All right. I am ready.
I went into this summer not thinking about the wonderful summer ahead of me. Lighthearted fun, going to the beach, going to the pool, and enjoying my free time. I was thinking about the dreaded senior year ahead of me. Now I knew that this would arguably be one of the hardest school years of my life, filled with AP tests, SAT, ACT, standardized testing, everything, and including college applications. I knew better than anyone that I would have to take care of myself throughout the school year. I didn't want to burn myself out through the first semester. That would not be okay. So I simply decided that I would have to learn how to take care of myself. I chose that the best way to do this would be through learning how nutrition and exercise affects my mood. So I began tracking through MyFitnessPal, spreadsheets, and a project log. Everything from how the weather affected me, my caloric intake, and what I did that day. Now, I decided to try and use these to help decipher from trends how quantitative data affected my mood. I also interviewed experts in the field, such as a Pilates and health instructor, for professional insight as to how certain diets or habits may negatively or positively affect my mood, and how I could change them to feel better. Now, one of these interviews gave me an interesting insight onto the perspective of how sleep affects my mood. Now, before we get to that, I first saw the effects of sleep when I began logging my entire day. So everything from calories, weather, mood, and even if I did anything special. I tracked 70 days of summer, finally to the end. And so I found in these details trends regarding how I felt in regards to what I eat and how I exercised. I also used the easy to navigate MyFitnessPal app to track my nutrition. It's a portable and easy to use app, helped me sit down and track all my calories. I could scan barcodes, I could put in ingredients, I could even find recipes that were already in the system. This made it much easier to track the calories that I was eating throughout my day and have reliable information on what I was eating. Now finally, I also found advice by meeting with people in the wellness and health profession, such as Pilates instructor Tracy Hess. I discussed with her how my different exercise and nutrition habits affected my mood and how I could possibly improve them. Now, after all this, here's what I found. From tracking all this, I found some important conclusions about my own eating and exercise habits that I wouldn't have been able to without this project. First, I learned I wasn't eating enough because I eat very little in the morning and I exercise almost every day of the week. I realized that the calories I was eating was not sustainable in the slightest. On days that I didn't work out, I was supposed to be eating 800 calories. On days that I did work out, I was supposed to be eating 2,100 calories. But I was so busy that I was only eating 1,400. Now, I had to change this, but I'll go to that later. I also realized through my data that the amount of calories I was eating had no effect on my mood. So they all centered around 1,426 calories. So while it didn't affect my mood, I did have to change this. To account for the deficiency, I started to eat more calorically dense foods and hiding snacks all around my house. This meant eating more enchiladas, more Mexican, and hiding one bars everywhere. I mean everywhere in my house. And instead of caloric intake, exercise played a huge role in how I felt throughout the day. On 60% of days that I felt happy, I had worked out compared to the 29 days that I felt tired or just plain depressed. I had only worked on 42% of those days. By working out and staying active, it clearly improved my mood for the next day. Finally, an unexpected result from this was the learning about how breaks impacted my mood. I usually take 2 courses over the summer, spend my time volunteering, and do regularly scheduled practices with my team. This is a big load for me. And incorporating things such as electronic breaks, after practice naps, and earlier bedtimes really improved my mood and helped me fight off some burnout. To go along with this, when I didn't take breaks and I spent days doing nothing fun, I saw that my mood worsened incredibly. And this is what you're here to hear about. I'm here to tell you to take a break. While nutrition and exercise are most definitely important in staying mentally and physically healthy, we forget that rest is important too. By rest, I mean getting 8 hours of sleep. The CDC recommends 8 to 10 hours of sleep for teenagers. That means 8 hours is the bare minimum that you should be getting. On days I felt horrible, there was probably a night of restless sleep following it. And so, to fix that, I added in regular naps, making sure that I felt well rested before trying to accomplish things such as volunteering or practice or work. But also, you need to take mental breaks to let your mind relax. I understand that all of us here have homework to do, practices to attend, meetings to go to. But by taking a break, reading a book, or taking a walk, you can improve your focus a ton. Especially for me over the summer, where I had classes to work on, places to volunteer at, and a whole list of things to do. Even my family could tell me when I needed a break. By taking time out of my busy schedule to just take a walk, read a book, exercise, do something that I've never done before, do something fun, I could tell that my focus increased incredibly. By giving yourself these breaks, you can be a more focused student, a better athlete, and overall less stressed. Even though the school year is quite busy, for all of us, it is important to remind ourselves that no amount of healthy eating or exercise can account for not resting enough. I implore you to take a break today from homework, your phone, video games, and try and go to bed earlier. Who knows, you just might find yourself feeling better the next day. And if you absolutely cannot go to sleep early, at least try stepping away from your work or electronics for 20 minutes. Go and read a book, have a conversation with a friend, even go on a walk. In conclusion, nutrition and exercise are incredibly important to your health, but so is taking a break. So today, I implore you to please take a break at some point. Thank you.
That was great. Oh, great. Hold on, let me.
We're done.